I'm live. Tacoma Comics coming at ya. Hey guys, what's up? Tacoma Comics here, and it's a cool day. Last night I went live like super late because I didn't have to get up this morning. I mean, I woke up anyway, usual time, but I'm chaperoning my son's field trip. So I got to head over to his school in about half an hour, but that gives me enough time. I realized I had a stack of comics I didn't go through last night when I was doing like a lot of bright glare right on my nose there. I got to keep looking down like this, and then you just have the glare appear. That's my superpower. I reflect light. Anyway, I had a few little things that I wanted to go over. Just clean this up. So last night I did my pick of the week for 2 weeks ago. I'm about to do my pick of the week for 2 days ago. My pick of the week for 1 week ago, I still have like 6 comics to read. But this week I only got 2 comics, so my pick of the week was pretty darn easy. So let's just go through what's going on here. So finishing up at Free Comic Book Day at Stargazer, one of my LCSs. Shout out Stargazer, Tacoma Comics, Tacoma, Washington. This shirt was 40% off, so I don't know how much it cost, but it was pretty darn cheap. I want to rep all the LCSs in my town. They had this listed at 10, and then all toys were like 30% off, so this is like $7. This is one of the ones I don't have, Blaze Malbus, the more rational of the two with Chirrut Imwe and Blaze. Lucky I had a gun. I think that's his line or something similar to that. So that's pretty cool. I'll build that later today or later this weekend. Literally only had 2 comics on my pull this week. I had Deadly Class number 38. That's 38 issues in, still going strong. Marcus and Maria have returned to King's Dominion. They're kind of falling into their own old ways, but not really. They're super cautious. Master Lin is like, yeah, all that murder is forgiven. They meet up with the new crew, who were kind of like Saya's friends, but Marcus and Maria were not down with Saya no more. So they kind of shunned them. So they're kind of making their own way here. We don't know what's going on with Saya because she is still in Japan killing everybody. Pretty cool. Gorilla Grodd! What's up, brother? Pretty cool. There is a new character in here, Jayla. We don't know what's going on with her, but the reason why she is important is because she kind of sees, or she's that like hiding in the background character right here on the last page. So you know that she's going to be a part of something special. Everybody's trying to get Marcus and Maria on their side and their little clique and their little gang, and Marcus and Maria are like, we're not having it. They throw down with the white supremacist loser bitch, and then walk off really alone with only each other, but Jayla's watching. So that was pretty darn cool. The other one I got was Black Hammer Age of Doom, and this is really cool because it's continuing the story. So there's something about these Black Hammer like comic books. They're not individually, I haven't seen a great issue in about 3 or 4 months, but as part of a story of a shared universe, it's just a good comic book. It's just fun. Now, Gale comes back, which is kind of cool. The gang's all getting back together. They've kind of been brainwashed. They realized that they were not really hidden on a farm. They were in a fantasy world, but they got to go and find everybody, and they got to go get Barb Alien, who's living on Mars, of course. And the big reveal here, though, is at the end, Black Hammer's not dead. Hey, Daddy. I've been looking for you for a while. So 2 really solid books, even though it's a very small week, 2 really solid books in my pull. I'm going to give this pick of the week. I don't know what I'm up to, like pick of the week 20. I'm going to go for Deadly Class right there. Really good, solid stuff. Appreciating it, enjoying it. Good read. Black Hammer Age of Doom was certainly a highlight as well. So really close, but I'll give it to Black Hammer. Let's talk about Free Comic Book Day. Stores are being a little more stringent about limiting people pages, films, and plastics. There's a man who is never limited. How you doing, PFP? He even shouted me out in all caps. I appreciate that. I was just saying, Free Comic Book Day, like they're being pretty stringent on the 5 comics per person limit. 2 LCSs I went to had that, so I had to kind of pick and choose. I couldn't just grab everything like I usually do. So I grabbed Deadly Class. I grabbed Under the Moon. I grabbed Lumberjanes. I grabbed Punchline. I grabbed Riverdale. And this came free. Spawn was free. Buffy and Firefly was free. And Animosity. So I didn't read Animosity because there's snakes involved in part of it. The last issue of Animosity had snakes involved, and I hate snakes. No, that's not my pick of the week for Free Comic Book Day. I don't think I read this one. Now I feel bad. I didn't read them all. So I just picked this one up to bring to school, to show to the kids at school, because I got, oh, look, there's a snake in it too. So no snakes. But yeah, I've got a really big collection going. Oh, I did read this. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, this is pretty cool. It's just like, it's just like origin story of Buffy meeting Willow and Xander. It's no big deal. She kills vampires with a stake and she goes back to her fast food job. So typical Buffy fare, very good, nothing spectacular. My kids in class will love it. I just picked this up because it was cool. I don't know if I have read it. It very much feels like a 90s comic, and that's not a bad thing. That's what it is, right? It's a reprint of Spawn #1. Pretty cool. You go, Todd McFarlane. This I'm super excited about. I hear people do not like the Deceased, but this Year of the Villain stuff seems really, really cool. Unfortunately, it crosses over into like all these comics that you got to pick up and read. And I'll tell you what, I don't have that much money. I got comics that I want to buy. I just can't do all of this. It's just too much. So, I mean, this is a really good story. It's like Lex Luthor kills himself in order to bring about like some villain apocalypse. All the villains are facing off against their like arch nemesis. I'm not even sure about everything, but it was really good. Yeah, Pope C, I absolutely agree. But look at the artwork in this page. This is really nice. I like this a lot. So it's really good, and I might get it collected, or I might just get the main title. I don't read a lot of DC other than Batman, but it looks really good. Pope C, I don't know if you saw my video last night. Let me know if you still need Batgirl 26, the moped one. I got you a copy. I felt bad that the auction stuff you got for me had a little crinkle in it. So if you still need that Batgirl on the moped, I can send that your way this weekend probably. So let me know in the chat if you still need that one. If not, I can always use a second. So this was just classic Riverdale fare. This again will go straight to my classroom for the kids to read. It's not bad. It's not good. It's what it is. It's a Riverdale comic aimed at teens. I teach middle school. Check the time here because it'd be really embarrassing if I was late for my chaperoning my son's field trip. I'm good so far. This is a superhero origin story. It's pretty good. This is like a town full of superheroes, or a city, world full of superheroes. This one's dying, and she's passing her powers on to this young girl who is drawing in her book in a cemetery when they met. It's a typical power fantasy. I don't like my reclusive life. I want to become a superhero. Please teach me how. Mentor role. This, again, is going straight to my classroom. This would be great for kids. Solid, nothing spectacular. Lumberjanes, you know how much I love Lumberjanes. Hey, yo, C. Woodard, working at nights, watching in the daytime. That's how we roll. It's a typical Lumberjane story. I loved it. I wouldn't expect anybody else to love it or understand my fascination with Lumberjanes unless you spend a lot of time at camp. That's my connection to Lumberjanes. It's primarily a camp story, and I love camp. So that was really fun. Yeah, I'm a teacher, pages, films, and plastics. Earlier this year, and I mean, like, to me, a year goes from September to June because I'm a teacher. I uploaded local news did a thing on me, and you can find that somewhere on my page. I put that segment on my page if you go way back to like last September, October. Um, wow, Pope C finally saw Endgame. That's awesome. Got 4 or 5 people in the chat. Welcome everybody. Yeah, Pope C, I'll definitely send you that back, girl. I bought that with you in mind because I have a copy. And like I said, I felt bad that you and now we got 5 people because Brandon is here. I felt bad because you got some books from me that you paid for and they arrived. And I know how that happened, man. My local post office in my school, there is this cranky lady that even everybody who live, like the secretaries of my school who live around there, they're like, oh God, she's awful. She takes your package and she just chucks it. And like I could see that corner of that box hit. And it's like, no matter what I do for packaging it, she chucks it in the bin. And it's like, are you serious? But it's convenient because it's close. I can go during my period off school. Yeah, C. Woodard, giant size X-Men #1. So he has done that, and so has Who Dat Comics. They both have pulled a GSX1, which is pretty awesome. Walking Dead 191, man. I had it in my hand. I heard it was going to be like special. There were like 4 copies left. I scrolled through it, and I'm like, yeah, Rick is shot. Rick ain't gonna die. And now you hear all this chatter that what's it called? Robert Kirkman is tweeting out that 192 is a 30-page big issue, and it's big not just because of the size of the comic. Hint, hint, hint. So now I'm feeling like I could have picked up 4 copies of that for $20 and sold them for 80, but really, that's not what I'm about. It's just that's such a pain, It's such a pain. So, whatever, if Rick dies, good. At 191 issues, that comic should come to an end. It's a great freaking comic. It's what I think we've lost with the TV show being awesome and then sucking and now apparently being a little bit better again, is that it was a really well-written comic. I have the first 27 trades. I think I'm 3 trades behind. It's really well written, and the black and white art is perfect for that comic. Walking Dead is just a great read. 191 issues. Come on. Let's end it. Let's do something else amazing. So yeah, if this is the beginning of the end, that would be great. If they're going to keep going, people keep buying it. So that's cool. I forgot I had this. I also got this one. A lot of buzz about it. A lot of people saying this is a really good first issue. It's okay. It was fun. Yes, Seawood, I didn't love Negan TV show wise, but just like comic book, Negan and Governor had an arc and then ended. Well, Negan they kept alive in the prison a little bit longer, but like the TV show just didn't know when to quit. They just didn't know when to quit. All right, let me just finish up the last 2 free comic book days so I can do my free comic book day pick of the week. This is really nice. This is kind of like Catwoman's backstory is Selena Kyle growing up as a teenager. And she's got an abusive father and a neglectful mother, and she loves cats, and her dad kills the cat or throws the cat out or beats the cat. I can't remember. It was pretty powerful. It was pretty well done. It also has a little backstory for Raven, which is kind of cool. This is nice. That I think this is going to be a graphic novel expanding on this. Again, kind of aimed at kids, but a good solid read, like written well enough that I think anybody could enjoy it. But my pick of the week for free comic book day has got to be this Deadly Class. This is a full story. It takes place sometimes in the first season, I guess, when the original gang is together and they're going to a show, and the show they're going to is Fishbone. Now, I saw somebody on Instagram post like a big concert like that they're going to in California somewhere, and it was like one of those 5-day festivals, and Fishbone was written really small at the bottom, and I don't even know who I was following, but I'm just like, oh, Fishbone, they're awesome, man. He goes, who's Fishbone? I've never heard of them. I'm like, I'm old. So if you were alive in the late 80s, early 90s, in your teen years, and you were into what was going to be called alternative music, but in '88 we didn't even call it alternative at that point. It was just punk, funk, and ska. Yeah, there you go. Pope C knows what I'm talking about. So, Fishbone, Bad Brains, Red Hot Chili Peppers, the even going into Living Color, the whole Black Rock and the crossover stuff that was coming out that time. That was my jam, right? Senior year of high school, freshman year of college. That was totally what I was about. And Fishbone was the best of them. Oh my God, they put on a live show that was just blew your mind. The energy was crazy. And Rick Remender captures that energy in this comic. 12 times live. Wow. I probably only seen him like 3 or 4. I was like the uncool of the punk kids. I had a bunch of guys. We bought tickets and they left without me and they forgot to pick me up. It was one of those like sad stories of being a bully, even though you were a member of the outcast group in high school or being bullied. So I missed my first chance of seeing them, but they played my Spring Fest my freshman year. Oh, that's awesome, Pope. That's awesome. So I saw him about 3 or 4 times, certainly not 12 times. I wish, man. Seen some other bands that I saw Living Color like 12 times. And Chili Peppers a bunch, way back in the day. Bad Brains a bunch, going right up through 2008. But I haven't seen Fishbone. I haven't even seen Fishbone show advertised like around here recently. But anyway, the title of this is called Killer Set. It's all talking about the energy of a live show and how like even the people who weren't into live shows got into this Fishbone. And I mean, this artwork right here captured what it felt like to be at a Fishbone concert when I was 20 years old. It's just perfect. So while all this is going on, Victor says he wants to go. And they're like, Victor's the total square Russian dude. Why is he here? Well, Master Lin sent him there to kill some people. And so they're all making fun of Victor because he's a square, but he's like, you've got no idea what I'm going through. Saya's got a mission to kill people too. It's really classic. So you don't have to know the story to follow this. You don't have to know the TV show. It takes place in continuity, but it doesn't affect anything else. It's a perfect one shot, especially if you've got those connections like Pope C and I do to Fishbone or anything else. Yeah, they're doing a South American tour for their 30th anniversary of Vivid. I don't see any Pacific Northwest dates. I'd love to see some Pacific Northwest dates. Pope C for Living Color, that'd be awesome. I haven't caught them. They were also my jam. I mean, I saw them my freshman year in college. I toured like upstate New York. I saw them at SUNY Buffalo, or went to school. Saw them at SUNY Binghamton. Saw them all over the place. All right, moving on. A little bit left, and I got to get going soon. I finally read this. I have like 4 copies of issue 1 and 2 copies of issue 2. I like the story. It's freaking bizarre. I mean, at the basis of it, it's a mother-daughter love story. Daughter's trying to avenge or free mother and fight with the resistance against the oligarchical, ultra-religious right-wing faction that's decimated North America. And there's also lots of weird sorcery and magic and cryptobiology going on. It's a really good read. It's a really hard to sum up in a few minutes what it is. So there you go. Picked this up. I was just at my LCS, second LCS on Free Comic Book Day, and I was like, that's cool. It was pretty cheap. I love the green and yellows, right? And I loved when they do like the shades of one color. I know they had like the 4-color comics back then, so that they couldn't print in all colors, but just kind of dug this cover. It was pretty cheap. It's not in great condition. Not a lot happens. It definitely reads like a comic. Definitely reads like a comic from back in the day. Everything is dun dun dun, serious sort of thing, but it's pretty cool. And again, I love the colors. So it kind of reminds me of Avengers 57, where there's all those shades of red for the first appearance of Vision. There's all these shades of green and yellow, right? And so that's pretty darn cool. Dig that. Yeah, Pope C, Corey Glover landed on my head and knocked my glasses off at a live show in '89, and like to this day, that's my favorite Corey Glover story is that he landed on my head and broke my glasses. They did a big thing in New York when they played at the Ritz. And exactly like X-Men 50, Brandon. Good call there. The same sort of thing, using that limited color palette because the printing technology was either too expensive or just wasn't there to make a stunning image, right? And that X-Men 50, Avengers 57, to a much lesser extent this one, but it still struck me as the same thing. Yeah, isn't that really cool? I dig that. I dig that totally. So yeah, you can hear me shouting on. They broadcast that Living Color show live. They played the Ritz before it closed down in April of 1989, I think. 30 years ago. You're old. And yeah, you can hear me yelling on the live tape of that show. It's one of the 5 cassettes I still have that I haven't thrown out from my youth. Got this one. It's pretty cool. This was at Half Price Books. It was $5 plus I get my 10% discount. This is the first full appearance of Arcade, and I believe this is an early appearance of Captain Britain. So it's a typical team up story, typical Arcade story. They're in Murder World. They're inside a pinball machine, and he's trying to kill them. And yeah, I thought for $5, it's not in the best condition. It's definitely got that old comic book smell, but this one really has that old comic book smell. But I thought it was pretty cool. I was glad to get that. I like Arcade a lot. Remember, Arcade was in my first experience with Arcade was in X-Men 177, I think. He was hired by the Brotherhood to create a fake murder world so that Mystique could practice killing the X-Men. And so at the beginning, you think that Mystique has killed all the X-Men until you realize that she's just going through this fake world that Arcade had created. So like he was one of my first villains I came across when I was starting to read X-Men other than Magneto. And I'm pretty happy to get his first full appearance there for $5. And then this is the last one I got. And I just got this because it was a $2 comic, which meant it was a 50-cent comic on the free comic book day sale. It's Kirby Goodness, and it's Commandy, who just looks like a surfer dude with a machine gun in this bizarre world with these man bats and these tech guys and this weird thing called I can't remember what he's called. He's not called the Cripple, but he's called something almost as inappropriate. The Misfit is the bad guy, right? And so it's like, could you be any more inappropriate? See if I can find a good shot of the Misfit for you. He's basically like the guy who controls the in Mad Max 3 Beyond Thunderdome, the one who controls the big guy, right? So he's just this little guy here in Commandy's backpack, and he's ugly and short and wilted, and he's called the Misfit. But I don't know who wrote on this, but this is like, I was scratching this off my fingernail, so this is not like ink. This is like grease pen or something. So this comes off. You know, I'm not a big Commandy fan. I like that 12-issue miniseries they did where every DC writer wrote like one issue and then left it a cliffhanger for the next writer to pick up. That was kind of cool. But I just wanted to get some Kirby art. This is written and drawn by Kirby. I don't have a lot of Kirby. You know, obviously I know what a great figure in the industry he is. So I dug this. And yeah, man, that's about it. It's not like a powerful story. But it is definitely cool to look at. It's nice to have an old Kirby 20-cent comic, Commandy number 9, in decent condition. And this one also has that old smell. All right, guys. I'm getting caught up, right? I've done Pick of the Week for Free Comic Book Day. I've done free Pick of the Week for this week. I did Pick of the Week for 2 weeks ago. I just have to read a pile about that thick to do Pick of the Week for last week. And that includes Batman 70, which a lot of people are saying is getting Batman back where they want Batman to be, you know, forcing Tom King to be Scott Snyder, I guess. Let Tom King be Tom King. He's disappointed, but he's also excited, I think, with his Batman run. I like it. That is all I have for you guys. It is 9:41. I got to be at my son's school in about half an hour, take the dog out, and do a bunch of other little things. So thanks for stopping by. Pope C, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'll look for it, Pope C. Pages, Films, and Plastic. Brandon C. Wood. And let's see, did anybody else pop in that I saw? Oh, Gorilla Garage was here early on. So thanks for being with me, everybody. And yeah, Pope C, if I see one, I'll hold off on sending you that Batgirl. And if I can find that Deadly Class Free Comic Book Day issue, I will send one your way. All right. Take care, everybody. Yeah, you too, Pages. Thank you for being here. Talk to you soon.